Okay, I call this meeting of Magnolia Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Chapter 551. So if everybody would please stand, Mr. Duncan is going to lead us in our invocation.
As is our tradition here in Magnolia ISD, we start each board meeting with a prayer. If you'd like to, please join us. Dear Lord, we thank you for letting us gather here tonight. We ask you to bless everyone in this meeting with wisdom, patience, kindness, and understanding. We ask you to bless our great country, our great state, our great city, and certainly our school district. We ask for special blessings for all of our kids. We also ask you for special blessings for all of our servicemen and first responders, no matter where they may be. Please give them safety, and please give their families comfort. And we ask all of these things in thy Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. May I remain standing, Sammy and Lily, if you guys, ladies, would come up here and lead us in our pledges. We're going to do the U.S. first, followed by the Texas pledge. So get us started.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honoring the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, you can be seated. Lily, you can stay up here. Sammy, do you have a seat? You want to come up here, Ms. Jones? I told you we'd have a spotlight on you for a minute.
All right, here, Lily.
Right here in the middle. Right here.
All right, so this is Lily Sack, and Williams Elementary has chosen her to represent us as our Student of the Month. She has some family members here joining her. Her mom, Misty, and her sister, Callie. Her yaya, Debbie, is here as well. Y'all can wave. She also has some teachers here. We have her advanced academics teacher, Miss Gustin, her art teacher, Miss Gavin, our assistant principal, Miss Harper, her dance club sponsor, Miss Curtin, in the back, fourth grade math teacher, Miss Wyatt. All right, so Lily has attended Williams Elementary since her kindergarten year. She's made straight A's on every report card so far. She participates in Project Reach. She's our secretary for student council and as a member of our dance club. She just received second place in science fair, and she's going to be recognized again tonight for winning best of show for her rodeo art. She's a servant leader, always doing whatever needs to be done. She's volunteered at Project Hope on a Saturday, and she's ready to do more. Lily's first grade teacher, Miss Williams, has some nice things to say about her. She said that it was evident from the start the way she carried herself as such a young lady that she would shine. From the beginning, she was always eager to learn new things, no matter the challenge. Her love of reading was always already obvious, totally throwing herself in books. She's self-motivated, cordial, considerate, caring, and respectful of all classmates and adults. She works hard, is determined, organized, and a believer that she can achieve any aspiration set before her. Her reading teacher, Ms. Chapin, says that Lily is an outstanding student. She always has a positive attitude toward anything thrown at her, especially in a challenge, when it's a challenge. Her exemplary attitude is seen day in and day out, whether it's working on her own or helping other students in need. Though she misses class time for school activities such as Project Reach and Student Council, she's always on top of her assignments and is prepared for class. She's the type of student that all teachers dream of having. Her Project Reach teacher, who's here, Miss Gustin, had some things to say about her. She said she's one of the most well-rounded scholars she has ever had the pleasure of teaching. Her talents and interests encompass an impressive range of disciplines. She's a lovely young lady who brings a delightful smile and quirky sense of humor to every encounter, approaching every task with determination, focus, and enthusiasm. And this is a quote from her teacher. She said, "She's a master inquisitor who not only keeps me on my toes, but inspires me to pursue further research into our topics of discussion." So outside of school, Lily has a very busy schedule. She attends dance classes 3 to 4 days a week. In her free time, she loves to read mysteries. And she would love to one day be a part of the Magnolia West Phillies. And she's already been looking into the IB program. She would love to start Harvard with some college credits already under her belt. Her long-term goal is to be a lawyer. So it's truly evident that Lily is a fabulous young lady who has a successful future ahead of her, and we are proud to present her as our Student of the Month.
Members of the board, Dr. Stevens, and this incredible crowd. Sammy is so excited you're all here. I want to introduce, we're delighted to present to you Sammy Savoy as our Student of the Month. Sammy is the daughter of Melinda and Chad Savoy, who are here with us. And she has a brother, Cole, who's in the 8th grade. He did not attend. I don't know why. He didn't want to be here. We have with us also some members of our staff who are here to support her. We have Mr. Ree, our counselor, Ms. Etter, our academic coordinator, her teachers, Ms. Callahan, Ms. McBroom, and Ms. Kinsey, and Mr. Payton, who is a member of our staff, and they're here to support Sammy. 6th grade is a new phase in students' lives. They begin to understand that their actions have both personal and overreaching effects on others. And with that in mind, at M6, we encourage students to cross the line, which means to focus, bounce back, work hard, and commit to their education. And we chose Sammy because she embraces all 4 of these ideals. Sammy commits herself every day to her education. She takes pre-AB courses and maintains an AB average in all her classes. Mrs. McBroom, her math teacher, stated, she's always smiling, and she radiates positivity. People enjoy being around Sammy because of this positivity, self-awareness, and her awareness in the needs of others. Mrs. Kinsey, her social studies teacher, says she always reaches out to those who are struggling to offer her support. Sammy never lets herself give up, especially when it comes to learning. Her favorite academic subject is reading because she enjoys getting to explore other places and ideas. Ms. Callahan's cheering. Being dyslexic doesn't get in the way for Sammy. She doesn't let it be a barrier. She understands it just means that her learning might look a little different from other students. And did you hear me say her favorite subject is reading? Okay. She focuses on how she learns, and she never allows her dyslexia to impede upon her learning. And I asked Sammy if I could share that. And she said absolutely, because she wants students who are younger than her to know that there is no reason to let something impede your learning. Sammy is aware that her surroundings affect her learning. In fact, her language teacher, Ms. Callahan, says she takes the initiative to remove herself from situations that she knows will not have a positive outcome. Sammy's well-rounded. She enjoys participating in a variety of sports, and her favorite is softball. She'd like to pursue that in college and beyond. But she has a backup plan. If that doesn't work, she would like to go to LSU or Ole Miss and major in marine biology. Not only do Sammy's teachers speak well of her, but I think this is important, her peers speak well of her. One peer shared, she always has a smile on her face and she is just fun. Another peer stated, she tries her best and she encourages me when I'm about to give up on something. And I asked her peers just to share some words. And they said unique, outgoing, giving, supportive. And I think these all encompass who Sammy is. Every morning during announcements, I remind the students in a world where you can be anything, be kind. And Sammy absolutely is. Thank you.
Don't sit down too quick. They sat down way too quick. Sammy, this is yours. Congratulations. This is yours. Congratulations. You know, we only do this once a month for a few months out of the year. So you guys represent, it's a special honor to represent your campuses. So don't take it lightly. It's quite a blessing. And we got Devon here to add more to it. Thank you.
You're welcome. My name is Jackie. I'm with the Bomb Urgent Care located off 1488. And every month we present the Students of the Month with $50 gift cards to tell them congratulations. There you go. Thank you. You're welcome.
Give another round for these ladies. Okay, I think, Dr. Campbell's up.
Mr. President, distinguished board, Dr. Stevens, fellow administrators, and guests. It's a distinct privilege tonight that I have to present several groups. We have some incredibly creative teachers in fine arts and some very talented students. The first two groups will be dealing with all state students. The music educators in Texas have an organization called TMEA, Texas Music Educators Association. And we have a contest every year, and we have a all-state choir, band, and orchestra. And so over 1,700 students in various groups are able to attend those. But it starts off with 64,000 to begin with to try to wean it down. So what they do is have a prepared group of music that they study, and they perform that in isolation to some judges, and the judges rank them, and a select few move on to the next one. We have 33 regions in the state of Texas, and that goes on to area. And same process, similar music, it's selected, and they sing, and the competition's tougher at that level. They rank them in order, and then the top and select few go on to state. So at this time, I'd like to, and it happens later on this week. We're going to TMEA this week, and on Saturday, these concerts, the culmination, will happen in San Antonio. So the first two I want to introduce to you are from Magnolia High School, and they're choir students. The first one is Taylor Frick. Taylor, if you'll come up here, stand near me. She's a sophomore, alto 2, and she has made the All-State Women's Choir, and so she'll be performing on Saturday. And so let's give her a big round of applause. And then next is Stephen Stewart, and he's a senior, and he's a tenor 2, and has an amazing voice, and he's been selected to the Texas All-State Men's Choir. So let's give him a round of applause. Since becoming fine arts director, I try to show you rather than tell you, but they work for Miss Franz, and they have rehearsal tonight, and she said you can introduce them, but they need to get in their car and come to rehearsal because they will be going to Oklahoma City at the early part of March to perform, and so I disobey some people, but not Miss Franz, and so we're going to send them on, but I will do this before I go to sleep tonight. Stephen did a great job at the Broadway show, and I've got an excerpt of his song that he sang, and I'll tweet that out if you want to check it out at Campbell_Foy. And then Taylor is sending me a piece from the pop show last year, and I'll tweet that out so you can hear these two beautiful voices. But we don't want to have them get in trouble. Stephen, you're driving. Drive safely, but get to practice. Let's give them a big round of applause. And the other thing I like to do is, as much as I can, put our educators in front of you. And so for our next group to introduce them, I've asked Mr. Bob Medina, the director of bands at Magnolia High School, to come up and speak to you.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell, Mr. Blizzard, Dr. Stevens, ladies and gentlemen, the great community of Magnolia, Texas. My name is Robert Medina, and I'm honored to be director of bands at Magnolia High School, and these two fantastic young students, like Dr. Campbell had stated, started the process with, actually it's 82,000 students throughout the state of Texas, and you whittle it down, and this Wednesday, these two wonderful students will be participating in the 5A Texas All-State Band. We have Miss Jenna Stone, who is a sophomore, mom and dad, Mr. and Miss Stone, wonderful folks here in the community. She's a member of our wind ensemble, and she studies with Mr. John Gossett. And over here we have Mr. Jeff Keene, who comes from a fantastic family. Miss Nilsson is mom here. She's here with us tonight. And he is a junior. He's also an exceptional bass player and an all-around great guy. And you ought to see him on the drums, too. But that's, come see the jazz concert. You've seen that. But they'd like to play a little bit for you, if you don't mind. It's about a 30-second snippet. We've got some Mozart, and we've got some other stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you how proud we are to represent the great state of Texas here in Magnolia. Sophomore, Jenna Stone.
They study under Mr. Bob Medina. I'd like to thank him, and then also Miss Jennifer Franz at the high school for choir, and she also works with Miss Bonnie Hernandez. So let's give them one more round of applause. Mr. Blizzard, we also have some art to celebrate, and at this time I'd like to ask Miss Cheyenne Snook, an art teacher at Magnolia West and our art department chair, to come up and introduce. We had two competitions recently, the Rodeo Art Show associated with the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and also a Conroe Art League Senior Show. So I'd like her to introduce.
Thank you so much for the privilege of coming here and speaking to you tonight. I consider it a privilege to brag on our kids. We get to see them every day, but I like to be able to introduce them, and I thank Dr. Campbell for that opportunity today. In January, we had the privilege of taking our finalist artworks to the NRG Center in order to participate in the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo's school art contest. And today I'm pleased to introduce you to the winners from that contest. I'd like first to introduce the best of show from the senior high school division, and her name is Ryan Rummage. She's going to come over here and she's going to take a picture, I think, with Dr. Campbell. There's a trophy that's there that's being awarded from the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Her artwork is titled Afternoon Routine, and it's a colored pencil piece. I am her teacher. I'm going to introduce the teachers today, and I get to brag. I am her teacher, but Ryan is not just influenced by me. She's influenced by the other art teachers in our school, and that's Mrs. Regina Michael and Miss Marta Huntsman. Marta's not here tonight, but Mrs. Michael is here. She's receiving a grant from the MDF, so I'll just say thank you for that and all. Best of show for junior high is a young lady by the name of Carlin Holton, and she is from Magnolia Junior High, and Bear Branch Junior High, and she's in 8th grade. Her teacher is Kent Byers, and the artwork that she created is titled Legendary. All right. The best of show for elementary, you actually have met her this evening. Her name is Lily Sack, and she's a 5th grader from Williams Elementary. Her artwork is titled Flowers Touch the Sky. And if you haven't had a chance to go and see this artwork, it's pretty spectacular for 5th grade. I have to brag on her art teacher, which is Miss Michelle Gavin. Miss Gavin is teaching some very high concepts in 5th grade art, spatial relationships and one-point perspective. Teaching kids how to create depth on a two-dimensional surface is a really, really difficult thing to do, but Miss Gavin sets the bar high and she takes her students there, which is awesome. So, yes.
One thing that I may not have added, but the original art pieces are down at Houston at the show, and so all these except one of them are actually copies of their artwork.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out. The gold medal senior high school award winner is Isabel Bosworth, and her artwork is titled If the Hat Fits, and she's an 11th grader from Magnolia High School, and her teacher is Sherry McIntosh right here. Congratulations to Isabel. Another gold medal award winner from the senior high division is Jesus Ureno, and his artwork is titled Well-Deserved Break. Jesus is an 11th grader at Magnolia High School, and once again his teacher is Sherry McIntosh. You can wave again, Sherry. The gold medal award winner for junior high is a young lady by the name of Haley Maxwell from Magnolia Junior High. She's a 7th grader, and her artwork is titled Confidant, and her teacher is Mr. Joe West from Magnolia Junior High. All right. The gold medal award winner from elementary is Ruby Gonzalez, and she's a 5th grader at Williams Elementary. Her artwork is titled Lost Button Gray Night, and once again her teacher is Mrs. Gavin from Williams Elementary. She teaches at Magnolia Elementary on the other week. So kudos to you. And then last Lundstedt, and she is a 12th grader at Magnolia High School. The artwork is titled Grandpa's Favorite Bird, and it's a beautiful oil painting if you get a chance to see it in person. Her teacher is Mr. Will Clark from Magnolia High School. So I would ask that you would give all of these rodeo art winners a round of applause. I am glad to report one added layer of congratulations for this contest. We received word this last week that 3 of our high school students whose artwork is on display here tonight will actually be participating in the Houston Livestock Show Rodeo School Art Auction this coming Sunday. Ryan Rummage from Magnolia West High School, Isabel Bozarth from Magnolia High School, and Jesus Urena will also have his piece auctioned. 2 of those, Ryan and Jesus, are second-time auction participants, which it's a really big deal. To kind of put it in perspective, they only auctioned 72 artworks, and at the beginning of this contest, they start with over 300,000 entries that come in. So I would say that Magnolia ISD is right up there at the top, right? Announcing today one more layer of congratulations, and this has to do with our Conroe Art League winners. There is an art league. It's a community of artists within the Conroe, Montgomery County area, and every year they sponsor a contest. And we had 3 students who went over to Conroe and kind of swept the floor, I'll just say, and all. So I want to make sure that I introduce them. The first one is Jade Masters. She was placed second place at the Conroe Art League show. And Jade's piece is on display there. It's titled Composition of Self. And yes, Jade, you can go over there and take your picture. Jade is I think I said it before, but she was the second place winner, and she earned a $600 prize for her work. So congratulations to Jade. We also had 2 honorable mention winners. The first one of the honorable mentions was Daphne Smith, and Daphne's artwork is a photography piece called Lunar Landing. And no, she did not take that on the moon, but it's beautiful, like what the moon, what I imagine the moon to be. Daphne received a $200 prize for her honorable mention award at the Conroe Art League. And the last of our honorees is an honorable mention winner at the Conroe Art League show, and her name is Mariana Markham, and she is a senior at Magnolia West High School. Her piece is titled The Nature of Being Undone, and if you haven't had a chance to go see it, it's really pretty cool. It's a piece about the effects of Alzheimer's, and you can see that she actually knitted and kind of made those pieces to come undone to relate that to us. So congratulations to Mariana. So once again, thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you our wonderful students. They really are fantastic, and I consider myself very privileged to get to teach them and to have them in Magnolia ISD.
Thank you very much. Mr. Blizzard and Dr. Stevens, thank you for the privilege of presenting these students, and I also want to thank you for supporting the arts. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell, for all you've done for our art program here at Magnolia ISD. The future's bright.
That's right, thank you. It's such a joy this part of the evening is such a joy to see all the talent around here.
Talent.
It's great stuff. And we're gonna see some more. Coach Bradley, you're next.
Well, I'm pretty fired up tonight to get to introduce these guys, or at least get an opportunity to introduce Coach Barnum. It's a kind of a unique experience for me. When I got here 2 years ago, roughly right at 2 years ago, we had to begin the search to look for a new head football coach at Magnolia West High School. And I got an opportunity to get around a lot of these guys. And I'm just going to go ahead and say, I think I can say this, and I think I may be the only guy in the room that can. There was a general feeling, quite frankly, that Magnolia West had kind of done their thing, if you will. I mean, that they had, they'd kind of been what they've been, and they'd had a couple of really good years, and and all those good things. And that was kind of it. I mean, everything's just going to kind of be a rebuilding thing, and and all that. And I'll never forget, I got a chance to stand in front of them. I don't get to do that very often with kids anymore, but I got a chance to get in front of those guys, and I thought to myself, somebody's going to be real lucky to get an opportunity to coach these guys, because there's an old saying that life's battles don't always go to the strongest and fastest man, but the man that wins is sooner or later the guy that thinks he can. And these guys have got that. I mean, they've got a work ethic, a toughness, if you will. And I think Coach Starnes and Coach Moore probably back me up. I think there was a lot of people that thought these guys wouldn't do what they've done. And all they've done is this year, they were co-champions in the district for the first time in the history of the school. They only had a one-loss season this year going into the playoffs. Got the second round this year. And it's just fun to watch. Good stuff. It's good stuff when you can go out because you're tougher and because you're more physical and because you're willing to sacrifice and do all the things you do in the summer and all those things. That didn't come, by the way, without great mentorship. And we've got some of those guys. They're standing back behind right here. But we've got some of those guys in the room tonight, too. And this is a fantastic staff. These guys are awesome. I get a chance to go watch them. It's a pleasure watching them work. But even more so, my good friend, J.D. Burnham, a guy that I've now coached with 14, 15 years, going into our 15th year, getting an opportunity to watch him and watch the way he mentors and the way he sets examples for all these guys in these maroon jerseys. There's something good going on at Magnolia West High School, I promise you. And I'll guarantee you, in our athletic program right now, it starts with this guy right here, and I don't mind bragging on him. He's not only the head football coach at Magnolia West, he's also the athletic coordinator at Magnolia West. And you won't go to many contests at West High School that you don't see this guy. He's supporting everything, and he and I will likely be on the road tomorrow night going to watch the girls' basketball game. If you weren't, you are now. But anyway, great opportunity, great honor to be around these guys. Coach Barney, you got it.
Thank you, Coach Spradlin. First of all, I am that lucky guy to be at Magnolia West, and I want to thank the school board for letting us come here and be recognized tonight. So it's a special night. Just so that, I'll get this out, but Magnolia is a special place. And it's a special place because of the great things that, obviously, that we're seeing tonight with all, the art and the music and the choir and then, of course, the football team and just everything that's going on here. This makes it a special place. And it's a special place because of the community and because of guys just like this. And so it's an honor for me to be able to stand here and be able to recognize these guys tonight for the season that we had. Like Coach Spradlin said, we're 9-2 football team. Made it to the second round by district champions. First time, obviously, in school history went 8-0, so that's a big deal for us. And, Coach Spradlin kind of hit it on the head a little bit. When I first got here, it was, we kind of been put out to the pasture a little bit. But I'm going to tell you something that these guys, obviously they've trusted the process, and that's a big deal. And the process for these guys is hard work, and hard work does pay off. And it's a testament to these guys just because of their leadership, their commitment, and their dedication to the things that they have, obviously bought into at Magnolia West. And so I'm extremely proud of these guys and everything that they stand for. They're men of character. I love being around these guys. I got, Coach Spradlin said it a while ago, but I love my coaching staff. We're young, we're energetic. We coach our kids hard, and we expect a lot out of them. And so these guys, they show up to, work every day with their, lunch pail and hard hat. And so that's what is exciting to be at Magnolia West. And so, kind of a tidbit about this senior class. This is probably one of the classes I've been around my whole coaching career. They're extremely close. And you know, not only are they teammates, but they're guys that hang around on the weekends, and they've grown up together here in Magnolia. A bunch of them have, and it's really cool to see that bond that they have set. You know, anytime you got a football team, and you know, we spend a lot of hours, you know, together, and it's that bond that you build. And these guys have had that bond for a long time. I would say for, you know, growing up through kindergarten, and most of them, like I said, have been here in Magnolia their whole, you know, as far as educational career. What's cool about this senior class is the leadership that we have. I think a couple of these guys have said it at our athletic banquet, our football banquet, but this senior class in junior high, 7th and 8th grade, won one football game. And so as they finish their career at Magnolia West, just take the last, you know, take the first 2 years of their football career, and then obviously some are going to move on and play in college and things like that, but their last 2 years of high school career, they have now won 16 games. So their first two is one, their last two, they won 16. Went 16-6 to finish out their high school career. So to that, it's a testament to you guys and the hard work that you've put in. So at this time, I'm going to start introducing each guy. You know, it's a hard time for me because usually when I start talking about these guys, it's obviously, you know, we got nicknames for everybody. And so, you know, I start using nicknames each and every day, and you kind of forget what their first name is. And so, anyway, so you guys don't get upset. But anyway, starting right here, we got a sophomore quarterback, Tristan Brady. All right, if you guys will come up and just walk right back down there, okay? Got junior wide receiver, Wesley Bagley. All right. Senior safety, Joel Heideco. Let's do this. Let's go one clap. After I say their name, let's go one clap. Here we go. All right, got senior wide receiver, Martin Wynn. Senior defensive end, Jared Sorey. Junior quarterback, John Matoka. Sophomore wide receiver, Peyton Fitch. Senior linebacker, Matthew Shiflett. Sophomore DB, Ryan Frank. Senior DB, Jesse Atkinson. Junior running back, Hayden Burge. Senior DB, Cole Crawford. Senior defensive end, Noah Clarkson. You named it, he played it all. Senior DB, Cody Stroud. Senior running back, Preston Deming. Junior linebacker, Rusty Bertrand. Junior running back, Bryce Williamson. Senior linebacker, Noah Bryson. Senior DB, Jacob Goldwater. Senior D-line, Gigi Gonzalez. Senior defensive line, Jackson Sewell. Senior defensive linebacker, Jared Stevens. Sophomore O-line. I got all kinds of names. Yeah, Gio Lopez. No nicknames. Junior O-line. This is Poppy. Junior. He played D-line. He's played O-line. He's played fullback. Justin Bennett. Senior offensive line, Nelson Avalos. Junior offensive line, Christian Garcia. This is big man on campus. Senior offensive line, Corey Owens. Senior defensive line, Marcus Salazar. Senior offensive line, Cesar Vera. Junior offensive line, Christian Cofer. Senior offensive line, Stephen Tavares. Senior DB, James Privet. Senior fullback, Aaron DeVitor. Junior wide receiver, Simon Gonzalez. You got senior wide receiver, Joseph Miller. At this time, we were very well represented in District 25A. At this time, I'm going to kind of recognize those guys right quickly. Honorable mention, we had Logan Clark, offensive line, Austin Guerrero at fullback, Noah Clarkson, where you at, Noah? Defensive line, Bradley Fitzgerald, Connor Phillips, and then Ryan Frank as DB. We got a couple guys. Connor Phillips is at baseball tonight. Due to the weather for tomorrow and expected of rain, we're playing a baseball game this evening, or scrimmage anyway. Second team all-district is Noah Sigler. He's got the flu tonight. John Andrews, and then Joel Heideco, second team all-district, number 5 right here. First team all-district for 25A, offensive line, Stephen Navarez, back there in the back. Corey Owens, Simon Gonzalez at tight end, Preston Dimming at running back, John Matoka at quarterback, Rusty Bertrand at linebacker, Noah Bryson at linebacker, and we got Jared Soring at defensive line. And then obviously our district MVP for 25A is John Matoka, quarterback. And then obviously we have the all Montgomery County team, very well represented on this football team. We got quarterback John Matoka. First team all Montgomery County team is Preston Dimming, running back, Stephen Navarez, offensive line, Simon Gonzalez, tight end, Jared Soring, defensive line, Rusty Bertrand, linebacker, and then we also have second team Corey Owens, offensive line, and Noah Bryson at linebacker. And then a big deal to me, obviously, you know, when the legs are gone, the mind lives on, so academics is a big deal. So academic all district for these guys is, if you guys step forward and raise your hand, you got Jesse Atkinson, Noah Bryson, Noah Clarkson, Preston Dimming, Martin Wynn, Jared Soring, Bradley Fitzgerald, Spencer Frazier, Gabriel Gonzalez, Joel Heideco, John Matoka, Brayton Huckfeld, Austin Maddox, are just the guys that got the academic all-district. And then obviously the Texas High School Coaches Association put out an all-state academic team. And we got a few guys represented. Honorable mention for the all-state academic team is Jesse Atkinson, Spencer Frazier, Joel Heideco, and Jared Soring as honorable mention. We got second team all-state academic is Gabriel Gonzalez, Martin Wynn, and then first team we've got Preston Dimming, and then Bradley Fitzgerald, and then we have an elite academic all-state member, and that is Noah Bryson, that young man right there. So. He'll probably be my boss one day. So anyway, easy. Yeah. Thank y'all very much for recognizing us. Thank you very much.
That was fantastic. I wonder how many of these guys we're going to see in D1 here in a few years. Thank you guys for coming.
Hey, 1 second. I want to introduce my coaches real quick, the guys that are here. Here's what we do have, just so he just made a good comment. I've got Stephen Navarez, big offensive lineman, 79. He is committed to go play at A&M Commerce. We've got Jared Soring, defensive line, going to play, committed to Incarnate Word. They're in San Antonio. So we've got those two guys. We've got about 5 or 6 other guys that still have not signed but are going to sign. So we're going to have a little signing day for those guys later in the spring to identify where they're going. But these guys right here, I can't say enough about these guys. Extremely hardworking, a pleasure to be around. You know, it's not about me, but it's about these guys and these players. But, you know, first and foremost right here, you got Anthony Moore. You know, he coaches the secondary and does girls soccer for us. You got Coach Starnes, does outside linebackers, and he's working with the boys soccer team. You got Coach McNeil, works with our wide receivers and is our head track coach. You got Coach Joseph, he's our offensive coordinator, works with the powerlifting team. Coach Warsitz is the offensive line coach, and he works with our girls basketball team, who is going to be playing tomorrow night in College Station at 7 o'clock, so you have nowhere to be. I'd like to see you there. You got Coach Barnard, works with our offensive line, and is also a track coach. Got Coach Sloan, who's our DC, done a tremendous job. We kind of hang our hat on our defense here at Magnolia West. I mean, last year we led the district, and it was a tight race between us and Huntsville this year, but we do an outstanding job on our defensive side of the football. And then Coach Sloan also works with our track team. And you've got Coach Nelson. Coach Nelson works with our DBs, and then also works with our powerlifting team. So, thank you.
Thank you guys for coming tonight.
It's a fun group to watch play.
Yes, it is.
Fun group.
Okay, Ms. Owens, I think you're up next.
All right, sounds good. I'll let it get a little quiet. Well, I thank you for inviting Magnolia Education. I feel like what? Can you hear me?
To exit the building.
Give them 2 seconds, they'll be out.
We got celebrity over there.
Oh, are you gonna mic me? Oh no. Okay, now can you hear me? All right, well, thank you for inviting the Magnolia Education Foundation to be part of tonight's meeting. I am honored to serve as MEF's president, and we truly have a great group of folks, and we have been very busy this year with our new MEF logo and brand, and we just have been creating awareness for our foundation's purpose, and that is to increase funds for MISD. So we want to grow our students, we want to support our classrooms, and inspire our teachers to pursue innovative projects. So with that said, I would like to quickly take a moment to introduce our other executive officers of the board, and I would love for you all to come join me up here, so I'm not alone. So first we have Becky Albritton, and she is our awesome vice president. Keeps me motivated every day. We have our finance expert, Tina Slansky, and she is our new treasurer. She's serving this year as our treasurer. We have our very creative Jen Tolbert, and she has stepped up to be our communications director for MEF. And we also have Mr. Joe Mark Robinson, and he is serving as secretary for MEF. Feels better now. So this is a fantastic group, and it's steady growing. I would like to recognize a few other folks, key folks in the room tonight, and if you would please stand, or if you'd like to come join us up here, it's up to you. We have Mr. Charlie Bell, and he has really jumped in and is helping us plan our spring fundraiser, and I'll put a little plug in for that. It is on March 23rd. We're having a sporting clay tournament at Blackwood Gun Club, so I hope to see a lot of faces there. We also have Kira Sears Elliott, and she is taking the lead on different community events for MEF. Good, I'm glad y'all come up. And then, of course, we have a very a great group and strong group for and a dedicated grant committee this year, and that's why we're here today. And if you could please stand, I know Leslie and Laura, Denise, am I missing anybody else from the grant committee that's here? If you'd like to come up. So that leads me to why we're here tonight, and it's to talk about 2018 grants. We all jumped into the grant process this fall, and we decided to do a few things differently than years past. The first thing we did is we held 2 grant writing workshops to assist our teachers and an opportunity to answer some questions before beginning writing their grants. The second thing we did is we increased the upper award limit from $3,000 to $5,000, and so that just gave the possibility for teachers to dream a little bit bigger and just have more fun with their ideas. And then last, we extended our deadline, and that gave our teachers a little bit more time to submit those applications. So with all of those changes, we think the results were awesome. And we had a record number of grants submitted. We had 62 applications totaling over $165,000. And due to the success of our fundraising and support of our community donors and businesses, we were able to award 13 grants reaching 9 different campuses and almost $40,000 in grant money. So I'd like to hear more. So these grant winners range from STEM activities to music to gardens, reaching across all grade levels and subject areas. So with that said, we have a little short video to kind of bring you into the moment that we did for Grant Patrol. It was so fun, and the inspiration we experienced during our Grant Patrol the last couple of weeks was awesome, and so hopefully this video will kind of take you and let you experience a little bit that we did. If I can get this to work. All right. Serving as president of Magnolia Education Foundation has given me the opportunity to be active within the community, be in front of local businesses, and work with the teachers and trying to figure out ways to make the district better. So MEF just completed our Grant Patrol, and it was so much fun. So the last couple days, we were able to award 13 grant winners and almost $40,000 worth of grant money. It was so much fun to be able to walk into a classroom and see these teachers with complete shock that they were the winner. When there's certain grants, as you're reading them, you get attached to certain ones and you hope that they rise to the top. So the outcome when you go for Grant Patrol and you're able to see that one teacher receive the grant and get their wish, and the tears come to their eyes, and it's just such an amazing process. So Magnolia Education Foundation was so pleased this year to have raised enough funds to give out almost $40,000 in grants. We had over 60 grant applications submitted, and we were able to give 13 grants out this year, ranging all the way up to $5,000. MEF has become a great way for me to get involved with the community, helping our teachers, working with other parents. We raise money all throughout the year with different events and fundraisers. And then at the end, we ultimately are able to give grants and give it back to the classroom so that the kids ultimately get so much more within the district. At the end, when you're walking into that classroom, you have your cowbell and you have your pom-pom, and you're with your group of fun MEF folks and are able to actually give that to the teacher who's worked so hard in writing that grant. That is at the heart of what we do at Magnolia Education Foundation and why we do what we do. It's weird to watch yourself and hear yourself. That's one thing in this role that I haven't quite gotten used to. So you can see from the video that there was a lot of excitement over the last couple weeks. And without further ado, I would like to recognize all of our MEF grant recipients that are here tonight. And we would like to present a check to MISD in the amount of $38,541.60. I'm gonna let this group right here. To our grant winners. So please, as I announce your names, please join us at the front, and then we'll be able to take a group picture with our school board and Dr. Stevens. I think that's, and so let's start. Our first group of grant winners comes from Williams Elementary. And if you could come up, we have Deborah Curtin, Marshall McConnell, and Jennifer Wyatt. And their grant was entitled Developing Fraction Sense. So we're excited. If you want to come up, maybe right over here. And our next grant winner is Regina Michael, who we heard of earlier, talking about all the great things in the arts. And she represents Magnolia West High School. And her grant is called Have a Seat in the Art Gallery. Our next is a big group, and they represent Magnolia Junior High. We have Kristen Betts, Amanda Dunn, April Gonzalez, Ann Brown, and Brittany Gassaway. And they have their grant was entitled Enriching a Community One Book at a Time. Our next winner is from Nickel Sawmill, and it's Cindy Sissio. Hope I'm saying that right. Her grant was Mentoring Musical Minds. And then we have two from Magnolia Elementary School. We have Nancy Mole, and she wrote a grant about balance and agility. And we have Allison Love, who actually was a recipient of 2 grants. And she had, is she here? She come in? Did I see? Okay, good. Come on. She had 2 grants in Engineering Our Future, One Lego at a Time, and then Inspiring Bilingual, Biliterate, Bicultural Families. And then we have 3 teachers from Magnolia Parkway Elementary, and that is Regina Hinkleman, Belinda Bergeron, and Kelly Thompson, and they wrote a grant for an outdoor learning center. Next, we have Nicole Zink from Magnolia High School, and her grant was forecast partly cloudy with a chance of rain. Our next is Ellisor Elementary. We have several winners. We have Carrie Stepanek. Am I saying that right? Kara. Kara, sorry about that. With a name like Dasha, I understand. We also have Catherine Schindler and Suzanne Reich. And then last but not least, we have Trisha Hacker from Smith Elementary, and her grant was called Taker Spaces. So again, we've clapped, so if everybody could just put their hands together for this great group and writing and giving people grants. I'd like to congratulate everyone, and we look forward to your innovative projects coming to life.
Find a way to get us all in here. Denise, you be careful up there now.
Good.
Doctor, thank you, the committee, for all y'all have done to help out. First of all, these teachers and the wonderful grants they've written, but I know in the end, it will pay a lot of dividends for our kids. Thanks so much for your work. Wonderful committee. This MEF is doing some great things. Look, we're going to double that next year, right?
Thank y'all very much. We really appreciate it. You know, they're a good example of the main thing.
Absolutely.
Keep the main
Absolutely.
thing.
Great group. A lot of energy with that MEF right now, I'm telling you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay,
Look at Eric.
May not be able to take this one through the drive-through.
Will you take care of that?
I will take care of
Dr.
it, yes,
Morris?
sir. All right.
Endorse it first.
all right, Dr. Morris, I guess you're next.
Thank you, sir. I was just thinking that I'm somewhat glad that there was an agenda item after the coaches spoke, because at that point in time, I was about ready to strap a helmet on and run through this water. Wow, what an energetic bunch. But tonight, it's an honor to be before you to present an award to our food service department that's given to us by the state of Texas. It's a very distinguished award. In a moment, I'll let Mr. Deavies come up and share a few specifics about some of the details that we've accomplished in-house to qualify for the award. But before we do that and have the opportunity to introduce some of our administrators who played key roles, I just wanted to read an excerpt or two from the letter that came from our Texas Ag Commissioner, Mr. Sid Miller. And it reads in part, bear with me, Dear Dr. Stevens, congratulations to you and your school nutrition team for earning the Texas Department of Agriculture's Best of the Bunch Award for 2017 Local Products Challenge. Less than 10% of school districts in the state of Texas reach this esteemed level of achievement. Thank you for valuing your school nutrition professionals and recognizing their efforts as vital to the pursuit of academic excellence and healthy lifestyles for all Texans. It reads further, when students see items like Texas citrus, grains, or milk on their lunch trays, they gain a valuable exposure to healthy foods and Texas agriculture. That is how the challenge provides lifelong lessons about healthy lifestyles and good nutrition. The challenge also serves up economic benefits for the entire community. Each dollar that your team spent on local foods during October generated up to $2.16 for local economies. Thank you again to your child nutrition team for helping young Texans embrace the 3 E's of healthy living: education, exercise, and eating right. Sincerely, Sid Miller, Commissioner, Texas Department of Agriculture. So what a distinguished award. Glad to present tonight to you all. I'll ask that we hold the applause until I ask the folks to come up. First off, Mr. Joe Deavies, Executive Director of Support Services, had a heavy role in this. Our Director of Food Service, Ms. Kim Ohlendorf. Come on up, Kim. And our Assistant Director of Food Service, Ms. Rhonda Murphy. I thought we were going to have the chef who has the best hat in the building, but he may have took off on us. But again, Mr. Deavies is going to share a short presentation with you guys to give you a little more information about some of the things that we've done to accomplish this award. But our food service department has really enhanced the entire program over the last several years. You know, in the last 2 years, we've kind of become the go-to food service department in the area here for many representatives of other much larger districts who want to step out and see what it looks like for a high-functioning department in terms of the food that we offer and the nutrition and some of those types of things. So very pleased with the group overall and cannot be prouder about this award. So let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you, Dr. Morris, and as I get my my short PowerPoint together, I would like to just say that we have actually, these two wonderful, awesome ladies here, Kimberly and Rhonda, have, their department has won this award several years they've won it, and again, the top, like Dr. Morris read in the letter, only 10% is so in the state win this, so that's something to be very proud of, the job that they do. As always, I like to show off our food presentation in our wonderful cafeterias, and tonight's no exception. I plan on doing that. Our excellent child nutrition employees always amaze me with all of their talents. So with that, this slideshow, everything that you're going to see up here tonight is from our cafeteria. It's not Googled nice food and put up here. This is our actual cafeteria, or our cafeterias here at Magnolia ISD. And so there's some, as you can see, some local produce there. Here's some more local produce. I've gotten these are our shaker salads, which by the way is new this year to our program. Gotten a little harassment from some of my colleagues about promoting those. I like to call them my critics, but they're very good. They don't look. They have a lot of food. And that's Chris. Chris had one she can vouch for. It's a lot of food. But here's some more pictures. This is actually a salad bar at one of our elementary school campuses. And I look back and I think, wow, when I was in elementary school, I would have never eaten that. I would have had some oranges and grapes, but some fresh broccoli. But these kids are eating this up. They love it. They're just, you know, it comes with every meal that's purchased. And I've said it before, a couple of years ago, we were serving about 7,000 meals a day. And this year, the last I spoke with Kimberly a couple of weeks ago, we were serving 9,400 meals a day. So the proof is in the pudding, as we say. That the food is phenomenal. This is one of the salad bars. Here's another view, the other side of it. The kids absolutely love this. But of course, any school can put fruits and vegetables on a salad bar and call it a successful day. But here in Magnolia, we're not just satisfied with placing that fruit on a salad bar. We want to raise that bar higher. We're not happy with just enough. So we decided to kick it up a notch, and we did that in a couple ways. One, we decided in the month of October that we're going to introduce to the kiddos a different fruit and vegetable every Friday. That way they don't get tired of the same old. We want to make it different, make it exciting for them. Of course, we couldn't stop there, so we also introduced to students the whole grain breaded okra and whole grain breaded onion rings, which I don't have pictures of here, but they were both a huge success. We also incorporated some visual learning for our students. In the elementary school, students participated by trying a new item each day and identifying which of the Texas produce was used to make that meal. Students then color the item, they place it on the bulletin board, That bulletin board was decorated with a barn and a fence post, and they were able to put their fruit and vegetable up on that fence. We tracked our participation. As you can see here, we have at our 6th grade campus in our elementary schools by hanging the Rock Day posters. And I don't know if you can read this, but in here there's numbers. They posted numbers of how many kids participated at each school, so the kids, they'd go to the cafeteria. These are a couple of our, and they could see how many students participated by placing that little colored picture on that fence post. These are two of our cafeteria ladies, managers, Gail Burney from Magnolia Elementary School and Allery, thank you, from Nichols Sawmill Elementary. And then finally, at the schools, we provided with a large hanging display that asked the question, how does Texas farm fresh produce grow? Students were able to place a fruit or vegetable sticker on each one of those displays, so kind of giving them the hands-on visual. And so this was at all the 6th grade elementary schools. I know it's kind of probably a little small there, but it says in a tree, on a stalk in the ground, or under the ground, and they were able to go and put their little sticker wherever they felt that piece of fruit or vegetable was growing. And so with that being said, I cannot express how proud I am of Mrs. Ohlendorf and her team for the phenomenal job they do on a daily basis, making sure that our kiddos don't go hungry, but also in the manner in which they do so. So at this time, it is with great honor that I present to Ms. Ohlendorf and our Child Nutrition Department with the 2017-2018 Best of the Bunch Award.
So this is kind of a big deal.
It is a huge deal.
Right, well, and the bottom line is, our kids are eating at school and they're enjoying what they're eating. That's what I'm hearing. I heard some kids tonight even tell me that. So I want to thank y'all from the bottom of our heart for what you do and take care of those kids.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for all you do. We need to go up there and have lunch ourselves, I think.
We can probably arrange that.
All right, Dr. Todd, I think you're next.
All right, well, last but certainly not least, I have an opportunity to introduce a very special group that we have here tonight. Tonight, we have our Student Leadership Cohort number 6 that's with us tonight. And most of the regulars here know that we have a Student Leadership Academy that meets every year. We select juniors from both of our high schools, and we study leadership. And we study that by having a chance to visit with elected leaders, leaders from corporate America, and tonight, this group had a chance to eat with our Board of Trustees and visit with them a little bit about what it's like to be an elected leader in a school district in the state of Texas. And so they're a very special group, and I don't know, bored out of all the different cohorts I had, this could be my most favorite group that I've had an opportunity to work with. They are outstanding, and we're looking for some big things to come from them. And so they will continue this program next year as seniors, and they will develop a leadership capstone project that they will work on that has something to do with leadership skills, and I'm very curious to see what that looks like. So I'd like to have this group stand up of Magnolia High School and Magnolia West juniors and our cohort group number 6. Let's give them a big round of applause. And now I'm just going to put them on the spot. But would someone maybe like to share of the things that we've done so far this year? Maybe some of the favorite memories or ideas about that? Would anybody like to kind of share something like that? Yes?
We went to A&M recently and got a tour of the May School of Business. And it was just a really great experience because we learned a lot about leadership from some speakers that came that were professors, even the mayor came. And there was a professor on the Ellen Show that even came and talked about his experience with leadership. So just an overall great experience that we learned from.
Wow, yeah, that was a great trip. Anybody else? Anything else? Yes?
We actually have the great opportunity to experience parents' government on a local and state level. We were able to go to the Commissioner's Court and meet with Commissioner Charlie Riley, and that was very exciting. We got to sit in on the court. And then we were able to go to the state capitol, and we got to meet with Cecil Bell's team, and it was really exciting, and it's all due to our awesome superintendent. So thank you, Dr. Todd Stevens, for the ability to do all of this. Thank you.
Anyway, thank you all. We're so proud. Appreciate you being here tonight. Thank y'all. And really, we're not done yet. I mean, you may sit down. The cohort is not done. We've got a meeting this Thursday night, I believe, and so the march continues. So look forward to some other activities with this group before we're done.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming here. For the benefit of all the rest of you, that we got to enjoy dinner with them tonight. And this group of kids, there's a ton of horsepower in here. So take good notes because we're going to see them again. That's part of the joy of this part of the evening is all the recognition we do and seeing how much talent there is floating around this place. So it's pretty amazing.
I can't wait to see how the stories play out
Oh, yeah.
down through the years.
But you got to come back.
That's right.
Okay, well, at this time, we're going to take a short 5-minute recess, and then before we get into the business side of our school board meeting, and those of you who want to leave can, those Okay, I would ask if there's anybody signed up to speak, but I understand we have 3.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm required to read this for those who want to speak, so please bear with me. Participants must have turned in a request form and must have followed administrative channel before addressing the board. Participation is limited to 5 minutes. Any complaint or charge brought against an employee by name opposition must be addressed through the proper administrative channels and will not be addressed directly through this agenda item. Delegations of 5 or more persons shall appoint 1 person to present their views before the board. Please note that the board of trustees shall not deliberate, respond, or make decisions regarding any subject that is not included on the agenda that is posted. So, okay, the first one, I believe, is Ms. Ginger Russell.
Hi, thank you for letting me speak tonight. In 2013, my mother, Texas Science Author Janice Van Cleve, and I were scheduled to testify before the Texas Senate on education in regard to the curriculum system we had uncovered called C-SCOPE, also known as Common Core. Little did we realize this was the beginning of a planned, though well-hidden, shift and transformation within our Texas education system. I personally was alarmed and focused more on lesson content, like the Boston Tea Party being a terrorist act, Allah being the Almighty God, as well as a lesson asking junior high students to draw a new communist flag. It was at this time I began to comprehend what was sadly taking place in our education system. Though the content was bad, the teaching methods being implemented as to how children were taught in our Texas classrooms was the most alarming. I would like to add this came at no fault to our Texas teachers. These methods were being used across the state to weed out good traditional teachers. A good, solid academic education teaching writing, reading, math, and history, giving a child equal opportunity to succeed on their own accord, is being replaced with social emotional learning, aka competency-based, individualized personal learning, with the use of technology, bringing with it a massive data collection of our children. Excuse me, I am nervous. Unbeknownst to many parents, this data is available to third parties. This transformation is geared at seeking equal outcomes, not equal opportunity. You can look at it at forced equity. In line item 9A on the agenda regarding districts of innovation, and what is known in my circles as districts of experimentation, is an unproven method using children as guinea pigs. What appears to be a gift for more local control for our districts is actually a power grab by the Texas Commissioner of Education, Mike Moret. Districts of Innovation is not about a later start date, a as Magnolia ISD is purporting. As noted in the document I have here, and I will give to you, by the North American Council for Online Learning, districts of innovation, aka innovation zones, are to spur new, innovative instructional models and create space for competency-based pathways and student-centered learning, and will allow leaders to create new, personalized learning models. Excuse me. I will continue to address I could continue to address the harm the DOI can bring to a district, but I feel it necessary to address who in Texas governs districts of innovation. Before Magnolia ISD passes DOI, should the school board and parents be asking who has the power to administer and write the rules and regulations for DOI? That would be Mr. A.J. Crabhill, or who was formerly known as Eric Leonard West when filling out his TEA application, which I have here. Crabhill is a TEA Deputy Commissioner of Governance. His official date of hire was March the 28th of 16, making around $180,000 a year. Mr. Crabhill's formal education does not extend beyond a high school diploma. While sitting on the Kansas City, Missouri City School District Board, Mr. Crabhill had numerous ethics violations filed along with the Missouri and Kansas violations filed, and had Missouri and Kansas City arrest warrants.
You have 1 minute.
I would like to add, while sitting on the Kansas City, Missouri School Board, the district lost its accreditation. Mr. Crabhill came to Texas with no experience with governance. My question to you as a school board and advice is to table this agenda and do some more research. What you're doing is transforming this district to a DOI, is giving the commissioner of TEA more power over the district than our current elected school board, which is the smallest form of representative government we have. I'd like to also add that overall, school choice and the DOI agenda has the same agenda, and that is the collapse of the public school system. Thank you.
Thank you for your time, Ms. Russell. Okay, the next one that's signed up to speak is Hugh Fullerton.
Well, thank you for letting me return after I had gave you a little bit of perhaps light criticism a month ago, but well-intentioned criticism. I'm also going to speak to the DOI proposal, but also what I consider kind of the associated characteristics, which I alluded to last month. As some of you know, I'm a retired college professor. I was educated in the public schools in another state. My daughter was well educated in the public schools of 2 states. I believe strongly in public education. However, America has fallen behind many other developed countries in the world in the products of its education. I'm not worried about the kids that were here tonight. They're great. They're going to do well. But what about the 90% or more that weren't? They're the ones that I am worried about. I saw college students come in with very poor writing skills. I had to teach them the parts of speech before they could write a good sentence. Poor computational skills. They were getting special help so that they could even take their freshman courses. And I'm not just talking about Texas now, because I've taught in other states as well. Okay, how do we approach a problem? This is where the possibilities of innovation come in. And frankly, as I mentioned last month, changing the start date is not an innovation. You and I know that. It may be among the things that are permitted under this state program. Dr. Bullock was kind enough to give me a sheet, I think it's 2 or 3 pages, of the state statutes from which districts of innovations can be exempted. And it was an interesting read. But the first page of that memo, which I later saw, was even more interesting because that's where the innovation comes in. First item, innovative curriculum. Second, instructional methods. Third, community participation, and this is one of my concerns. Down in sixth place, modification of school day or year. So there are so many things that could be approached under this. Obviously, and I just mentioned to Mrs. Myers, the innovations I was impressed with tonight were the ones in food service. I'm sure there are a lot more going on in the classrooms, in the extra activities, this leadership group, which I think is a great idea. But clearly, the legislature and the Texas Education Agency in putting together this program was trying to encourage you to really think outside the box and get innovative, not just tinker with the school year or the school day or the bus schedules and that kind of thing. So what I'm saying is, I think you need to think much more imaginatively. As a board, don't depend on the administration and the teachers to do it. They have plenty to do all day long. Yes, part of their job is to come up with better ways of doing things. But the board sets the direction. And if the board tells the administration, we would like to see such and such, and come up with some ideas of your own, maybe we would see real innovation. And maybe Magnolia, which is already, I think, an excellent school district, could be a really leading district. Okay. Then the problem comes, well, what if they do this?
Mr.
What if they
Fullerton, you have 1 minute.
The answer is local control. We, the citizens, frankly, can boot you out anytime we disapprove of what you're doing under a District of Innovation proposal. We can't do anything about what they tell us in Austin or Washington. Those people are far, far away. But we're your constituents. But that again comes back to this whole communication problem that I brought up this month, which I think is just as big a problem. The board members need to get better contact with people like me who have no contact with the schools. I'm an ordinary taxpayer. I've lived here 10 years. I knew nothing about District of Innovation. And neither, by the way, do most of the parents. And they don't know about the proposal to change the school year. One parent I talked to
your time is up.
was very disturbed about that. Well, thank you. 5 minutes is not very adequate, but I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Fullerton. Appreciate your time tonight. Okay, and our last speaker is Chris Payton.
Hi there, good evening. I'm here more kind of on the same subject matter as the District of Innovation. I just wanted to thank the District Improvement Committee that's here tonight, put together the proposal for you guys and for you guys for considering it. I had never heard of that before last year, before the school year started. Previously, a lot of the surrounding school districts did adopt a District of Innovation in order to have a little more flexibility with their calendar and do some things that they felt like was good for their students. And at the time I thought, man, that sounds like a really good idea. But I really appreciated the fact that Magnolia didn't adopt it at that point. We, as a committee, were able to research for an entire year and kind of watch how these other districts were using it and get some feedback and collect some data to make a good decision. And during that year, obviously we had a lot of debates on the committee about what was good about it, what was bad. But the one thing that we always agreed on was the calendar. And so what was decided was that we'd move forward, presenting you guys with a proposal only to use the District of Innovation to make the calendar better for the students. You know, I was in awe watching these kids today. You know, I know it's just a small part of Magnolia getting their award. I've never been to a school board meeting. I'll probably come back at least for the first 45 minutes of each one, so I think that's pretty cool. But what the DOI did allow us to do was prepare a calendar that better balance the instructional days that the students have in the fall semester and the spring semester, so that as teachers, we don't have to rush through any curriculum. We have some time for that. And it also gave us the blessing of actually utilizing the teachers' contract days for professional development and in-service days, and sprinkling some of those methodically throughout the year in order for the teachers to have a little time at the end of each 9 weeks to prepare, look at the data from the previous 9 weeks and move forward. You know, our goal is to always be purposeful when we're planning for these kids, and at the end of the day, it's all for them. But again, you know, one thing that was unanimous for the committee was to move forward with respect to using the District of Innovation to get a better calendar for these guys. Gives the teachers a better tool, or another tool in their toolbox anyway. And then hopefully we'll see a great outcome for the students. So thank you guys for your consideration, and thank you committee for taking the year to put it together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Payton, appreciate your time tonight. Okay, our next item, Mr. Bruner, you're next, I believe.
Good evening. Let's bring you up to date real quick on where we're at with Vaughn Construction. We'll start with the intermediates. Obviously, Magnolia Intermediate's complete. We're still working on some punch list items, but we're down to some very minor items. We are scheduled to take the first furniture deliveries next Monday. So we'll be out later this week. It's going to give the school, obviously, a different look, full of furniture. Bear Branch Intermediate, don't want to spend a whole lot of time because it's basically complete. Now we're down to some inspections. We've got to get the health department out. The health department's been out, but they'll come out and hopefully give us a final on our kitchen. Fire marshal's been out. He will be out one more time to finalize some of the life safety systems. Again, we're planning to move the administration, the library, and the cafeteria into the new part of the building after spring break, and we're on schedule for that. I did take a lot of pictures because I didn't want to ruin our potential trip that we're going to take next month.
We're taking the board to your branch.
So I needed that from Dr. Stevens. I did take some pictures of the junior high additions, which we're also hoping to open after spring break. Here's the PE locker room, the interior shot, and again, this is going to enable us to renovate the athletic locker room this summer. Get more space for athletics, get that section out of the existing locker room. Got a shot of the restroom facilities. We also, of course, are working on the band hall addition. This is a shot of the exterior of that. Shot of the interior. We got all the Winger acoustic cabinets in. We got all of our acoustical treatments. We got the ceiling cover up from the engineer. So this project's very close to completion as well. Let's talk about the conference center. Last month, I kind of brought some news to you that they had lost some time and had basically developed a new schedule for a May 1 completion. The good news this month is I can come back to you and say that we are maintaining that schedule. We had some fortunate news on some equipment that it looks like we're going to get in a timely manner to hopefully get this project complete by May 1 and be able to start using it. We've got sound equipment scheduled for May 1. We've got furniture delivery scheduled for May 1, so I'm kind of counting on it too. But the project's moving along. This is preparation for the front paving, front parking lot and driveway. It was scheduled for Wednesday. The weather hasn't helped us, so we're looking at a Saturday schedule. We were going to do it in 2 sections. We're going to do it all at once on Saturday. It's a long day, and so it would really interfere with the parent and students of a normal school day. Trying to get this building closed in. We've got this little section of storefront that started last week. This was taken today. Should complete it in a few more days. Obviously, our goal is to get The heat turned on in the building. That's causing us some delays on some of our interior finish work because it's too cold. Here's a shot of the main conference rooms. As you can see, this has come a long way. We are probably about 90 to 95% complete with all of our sheetrock. They got the tracks in for the movable partitions. And we even started the interior finishes. This is the travertine wainscot that's going in the main ballrooms. Dr. Stevens was a big part of selecting this particular product, so I know he thinks it looks great. I do too. It was a nice choice. Here's the restroom, porcelain tile that's going in. Again, really, really top-end finishes for this facility. Any questions?
Can you video the kids' faces the first time they walk into that band hall? I would love to see they get a band hall. They're gonna be stoked.
I mean, I don't know about that. I do get a chance to see the kids a lot as they come by Magnolia Intermediate. You know, going from the main building down to the athletics complex and walking by there, and they stop and they look in the windows and they talk. It's
Well,
definitely
not
gonna
that
be
those
pretty.
kids ever complained that their band hall was a classroom, because it just was, but the kids who are coming forward to have an actual band hall or athletic locker rooms that you can turn around and change your mind in, that's amazing. So I'm excited.
Thank you.
Thanks for your work.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Bruner. Okay, we're gonna go now to our consent agenda. And this portion of the agenda consists of items to be routine and will be enacted by one motion unless separate discussion is requested. So is there any discussion needed for the consent agenda tonight? Okay, so we need a motion that we approve consent agenda items 8A through G. Motion by Kelly, seconded by Chuck. All in favor? Motion passes. Okay, Dr. Bullock?
Thank you, Mr. Blizzard.
District of Innovation.
Yes, Dr. Stevens, thank you. I bring before you a plan for District of Innovation proposal. This started with us watching what other districts were doing for the last year, and took on a more formal approach as we ended the fall semester. At the December school board meeting, you as a board gave us a charge to explore this and potentially bring a plan back to you. And you asked us to focus on one area, dealing with the start date of school and giving us some flexibility there. Our goal in pursuing that is to gain flexibility in our calendar where we can have professional development days at the end of each grading period, as well as honoring instruction time for kids and having our school year end at a time that most of our community has come to expect, which is right before Memorial Day. So to that end, the committee you guys appointed has met and explored options and produced a plan, which was posted on the district website for the required amount of time, and we're bringing back to you this evening. The plan calls for one innovation, as the state refers to it, and that innovation is to gain flexibility with the start date of next year's school calendar. Also included in your packet is a look at what we would do with that start date should you approve it, and it would move the start date of next school year from the 27th, which is the fourth Monday in August, which is what we would be required to do. We can't start any earlier than that unless you guys were to approve a District of Innovation plan. The calendar we would propose to go hand in hand with the District of Innovation would be starting school on August the 20th. I do want to underscore to you guys that this was done through the work of a committee, and I've asked one of the committee members if she would be willing to just say something on behalf of the teachers on the committee. So if Nicole Riley, if you'd come up here, y'all may recognize Nicole. She teaches English at Magnolia West High School, does a phenomenal job. She's currently our secondary teacher of the year in the district. And I'll embarrass her by saying that. And Ms. Riley, if you'd just like to speak as a teacher for a minute who was on the committee about the process.
Hi. I think Dr. Bullock and Chris have both touched on a little bit of what we talked about, but our charge was to look upon the calendars and to determine how we could better our instruction by revamping our calendar. And the only way we're able to do that is by becoming a district of innovation. So we were presented with several different calendars. As a group, we looked at them, we looked and evaluated their limitations, their benefits. And as a teacher, I can't tell you how important it is to have our days of instruction balanced, especially at the high school level, on each side of the semester. It makes such a huge difference in the pace of our teaching. So with this new calendar, it allows us, if approved, to do so. It also allows us to begin a week earlier, which gives us the flexibility, as Chris and Dr. Bullock both stated, to add a professional development day towards the end of each 9 weeks, which allows us as teachers to spend time together furthering our knowledge, deepening our understanding of our professional pathway, which can only better and enrich the education of our students. And the only way that we're able to do that is if you could approve our District of Innovation calendar.
Thank you, Ms. Riley. The plan is very simple. It asks for flexibility in one area, which is with the modification of the school year so that we could start a few days earlier than that fourth Monday in August. I'll be happy to take questions or if you guys have any.
Dr. Bullock, it's my clear understanding that no other portion of the waivers of District of Innovation can be accessed by us unless the same process begins again, correct? We would have to reconvene, if not that committee, but a similar committee with parents and staff members and administrators and teachers, and they would have to bring a document just like this one to the board for open meetings and discussion and vote. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. If let's say you guys were to approve this evening, then any modifications, any changes to that has to go back in front of the committee, that the majority of which is made up of teachers elected by each campus in the district, and also has parents, community, and business representation on it as well. So yes, ma'am. Before it would ever, any changes would have to go to that committee, then come back to the school board if that committee were to approve it first, and then would come back here for you guys to have a chance to vote on anything before there would be changes.
So if there were any other piece of this we were going to look at using, it would have to be on this document, or it would have to come on another document to be voted on separately?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Right now, just the calendars on the table.
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure.
Other questions?
Okay, so if we don't have any more questions, we need a motion that we approve the District of Innovation Plan as presented. Motion by Christie, seconded by Joe. All in favor? Motion passes. Thank you, Dr. Bullock. You know, I must say, it's such a joy and a privilege to be in a district where innovation goes on without waiting for some formality of a title to do it. So
yes, sir.
it's we have a great place, and we're innovating a lot without this.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So I have the next agenda item, which is to recommend a calendar.
You do.
Yes, sir. So I'll put your attention in your packet. There is a calendar that says Draft A on it, which since you guys have voted to approve the District of Innovation, this calendar takes advantage of that and has the start date on August the 20th. You'll notice professional development days at the end of each grading period. So at the end of the first 9 weeks, October 22nd is Professional Development Day. At the semester break, the January 7th. And then at the end of the third 9 weeks, which is March the 8th, the Friday before spring break, would be a Professional Development Day also. And then we'd close the year with one on for a Teacher Work Day on that Tuesday, the 28th of May. So I think this accomplishes what we set out to do, which is have a calendar that flows in the way our parents and our teachers and our kids are used to as far as start and end. And holidays fall where it makes sense. But we also get professional development work in to provide the best for our kids. So this was unanimously approved by our District Improvement Committee. Should you guys choose to approve the District of Innovation, which you did. So my recommendation is that you guys vote to approve Draft Calendar A for the 18-19 school year.
Any questions?
think there's a lot of excitement out there from the teachers about this calendar, maybe more so than I've seen in a few years, which is a good thing to be excited about a calendar, but if it makes a difference, then Innovative District's gonna take care of it.
That's right. Okay, with that, we need a motion to approve the 2018-19 school calendar as presented. Kelly, motion by Kelly, seconded by Sonia. All in favor? That motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bullock. Okay, at this time, the board will now recess to move into closed executive session for purposes permitted by consult with legal counsel in closed session to receive legal advice regarding level 3 grievance appealed pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.1071, and to hear and consider level 3 grievance appeal filed by Ginger Russell under Magnolia ISD Board Policy GF. This agenda item may be held in closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.1074. So we're gonna Okay, the board is now in open session. The time is 9:38. So do we have a motion regarding the appeal?
Mr. President, I move that the board affirm the decision of the administration and deny the grievance appeal and the relief requested.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Kelly seconds. All in favor? Motion passes. This appeal is concluded. And at this time, the board is going to move to recess to move into closed executive session for the purposes permitted by evaluation of the contract of superintendent pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.074, personnel discussion recommendations pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.074, and discussion of purchase, sale, exchange, or value of real property pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.02. Thank you. Okay, I need a motion that we approve to extend the contract of Superintendent Dr. Todd Stevens for 1 year beyond his present contract. This extension covers the period of June 1st, 2017 through June 30th, 2020, and becomes effective on this date, and includes a 2% raise to his base salary. We need a motion for that. Chuck, motion, seconded by Kelly. All in favor? That motion passes. Now we need a motion to adjourn this meeting. Motion by Travis, seconded by Chuck, by Joe, sorry. All in favor?
I'm way better looking at you.
Must be.
Hey.
Oh, there's a 0.
Yes, it's 0 hour.
It is 0 hours. Time is 0:06.